Hey everyone, I'm Tsunani. Welcome to a new video. This is a spring video. Today I'm taking you along while I create my prompt list for the Spring Flush Challenge, which is happening for the third time this spring. I want to paint a super cute, uplifting illustration and chat with you a bit about the challenge, about the artwork, and just whatever comes to my mind. So let's get started. The plan for the sketchbook spread is to create a spring-themed illustration. I would like to work with watercolor and gouache, but first I'm starting with a sketch. And as almost always, I'm using a Prismacolor Colorase pencil. My idea was to create a full illustration with the lettering Spring Flush Challenge on the right page and then the framed list of prompts on the left page. Right now the weather here in the north of Germany is super unpredictable. One moment it's sunny, then it rains, then we get hail and then sunshine again, all within minutes. So I imagined a tiny creature sitting under some meadow, leaves, plants, right after the rain, when the sun comes out again. After the sketch, I paint the background with watercolor and then I will go over with gouache. Now I wanted to tell you a bit about this challenge. Maybe it will inspire you to join in after watching this video. The Spring Flush Challenge is now in its third year. It's something I created for my patrons to celebrate spring. The challenge runs throughout April, but since we are all busy, there are only 2 prompts per week. And during the shorter weeks, just 1 prompt. I guess there are 2 shorter weeks in April, the first and the last week. Are only a few days. It's meant to be manageable, but as always, no pressure at all, no stress. Everyone can do as much or as little as they like. The most important thing is to have fun. I'm not even sure how many prompts I will manage myself, but since I'm also in the middle of the 100 days challenge this time, I'm hoping I will be able to keep up with all of them. We will see. This year I chose the prompts in a way that they work really well together. So if you don't have much time but still want to participate, you can combine both prompts of the week into one piece if you like. I also went for more descriptive prompts this time, small scenes or ideas you can really imagine, maybe a bit more open and inspiring than just a specific flower or an animal like last year. Honestly, the prompts are already inspiring me and I already have images in my head. I'm really looking forward to this challenge. It is also important to mention that the main part of the challenge will take place in my Patreon, but everything related to the challenge will be free to access. Everyone can see the prompt list and the illustration and join in. I will also be sharing all of my own results there on Patreon, and those will be public as well. All of my paying members can share their artworks on our Discord server, connect and exchange ideas. I'll be checking in regularly and we can chat here too. For everyone else, if you would like to join and share your work, you can post it on Instagram and tag me so I can see it. I can't wait to see what you create. I will also share some of my pieces on Instagram, maybe in my stories, I don't know this yet. But most of it will happen on Patreon, so if you would like to follow along more closely or join the challenge, feel free to check it out. The link is in the description below. And as I said, everything related to the Spring Flush Challenge is free to access, so you also can look at the last years, what my results were, and what the prompt list was. April is always the month when you can really start to feel that spring has arrived. Right now it's still March. I think spring officially started around March the 20th. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm a spring child too. And it gives me so much energy when nature starts coming back to life and everything slowly turns green again and begins to bloom. I always get so excited when I see the first bumblebee or beetles or other insects. A few days ago, I saw the first bee fly of the year, the fluffy ones with the long nectar thingy. You somehow only see them in spring. I have no idea where they are the rest of the year. Does anyone know this? I just noticed that. I really love spring. There's always something beautiful to discover everywhere. And the birds, it's so lovely how everything is full of birdsong again. A few days ago, I went for a walk in the forest with a friend, and we used an app that identifies birds by their sounds. It was so interesting to hear how many different birds are out there in the woods right now. Do you have any spring rituals, like spring cleaning or planting flowers? I would love to hear about that. Lately, I have also really been enjoying working with gouache. It's so relaxing to layer and don't have to worry as much about preserving highlights like with watercolors. I can just paint over things opaquely if needed. That said, I often do that with watercolor too, using highlighters or acrylic markers. I love working with mixed media in general because it gives me so much freedom, and honestly, I'm often way too impatient to paint tiny details for hours with a tiny brush. Sometimes I do, sometimes I'm in the mood, but not always. So I like to use colored pencils, acrylic markers, fine liners, whatever fits the piece. In this case, I will use colored pencils to add the details later. I have to say, I really love the lettering. Funnily enough, a friend said it reminded him of toothpaste, which I thought was really funny. I just really like the contrast between red and blue. Oh, and I haven't told you yet, the watercolors I'm using are from Schminke. I used lemon yellow, green gold, transparent green gold, and quinacridone red light. The darker green is the gouache from Holbein. In my dried gouache palette, I have a mix of Holbein and Mijello gouache. I think I have a video about that on my Patreon and maybe also here on the channel if you are interested. So the darker olive green is the russet green from Holbein. The olivey one, I also used lemon yellow from Mijello, crimson red from Holbein, hummingbird blue from Holbein, and titanium white from Mijello. I think those were all the colors I used here. I really love my dried gouache palette. It's just so easy to use. Of course, gouache straight from the tube is a different experience, and I love that too. But often I just don't feel like the setup. And this way it's much easier to just start painting. Both brands reactivate really well for me. I have no issues with them. Mijello doesn't crumble at all, and Holbein sometimes cracks a little. I even had one pan of the brown here where the paint fall out once, but overall they hold up really well and they don't crumble, which I really appreciate. So this is the finished piece. Look at it. I love it so much. It turned out so cute. It has exactly the kind of spring feeling vibe I was hoping for. I'm really happy with it. I will show you the finished illustration and the final prompt list later again at the end, so you can take a screenshot if you like, or you can just check out my Patreon. I will probably share it on Instagram as well on the beginning of April. Now, let's move on to the actual prompt list. On the other page, I decided to illustrate a frame that matches the illustration on the right side. The prompts will sit in the center. I will speed up this part for you since it's using similar elements and I don't want to bore you. I also decided not to hand letter the prompts. This time I always misjudge the spacing and it ends up in a mess and looking off. And since the prompts are a bit longer this year, I added them digitally so they are easier to read. Here are the finished pages, the Spring Flush Challenge illustration and the prompt list. I will quickly read the prompts for you. Sprouting friend. A tiny creature waking up after a long winter. Mild spring night. Finding comfort during a soft spring rain. Nature taking over. Sitting quietly surrounded by blossoms. Resting in warm sunlight. And the last one, a gentle moment of trust between a creature and an animal. So, do you feel like joining? That would be lovely. As I mentioned, you can find everything on my Patreon, including all of my artworks throughout April. And feel free to tag me on Instagram so I can see what you create. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a comment if you would like to join. If you have any questions or just to share your thoughts, I always love reading and replying to your comments. And don't forget to leave a like, maybe a little hype, and subscribe if you would like to stay. It really supports me. Thank you so much for that. And a very special thank you for my wonderful patrons. You are amazing. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a beautiful sunny time. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yours. Your Tsunami.